The man met the stranger at sunset. It happened on a narrow road just outside the city, where the buildings thinned and the sky burned orange and red. The man was tired that evening, tired of working hard and earning nothing, tired of being invisible in a world that rewarded loud voices and sharp elbows. That was when he noticed the stranger standing beneath a dying streetlight. The stranger wore a long coat, too heavy for the heat, and a hat pulled low over his eyes. His face was calm, almost kind, but his shadow stretched unnaturally long across the road, reaching toward the man like a living thing. "You look like someone who deserves more," the stranger said. The man stopped walking. "I can make you rich," the stranger continued softly. "Famous, respected." The man laughed. "And what do you want in return?" the man asked. The stranger smiled. "Only your shadow." The man laughed again, louder this time. "My shadow," he said. "You can have it for free." The stranger didn't laugh. Instead, he opened his bag. Inside was gold, not coins bars, heavy, dully low bars stacked neatly, catching the last light of the sun. The man's laughter died in his throat. "That's just the beginning," the stranger said. "Say yes, and you'll never worry again." The sun dipped below the horizon. The man hesitated. Then he signed. That night, the man slept like he hadn't slept in years. The next morning, he woke early, feeling lighter, powerful. Certain sunlight poured through the window. He stood up and froze. His shadow did not rise with him. He stepped closer to the wall, turned sideways, raised his hand. Nothing followed. At first, fear crawled up his spine, but it quickly faded when the phone rang to job offer. Then another. Then another. Money came fast. Faster than he could count. His small room became a house. The house became a mansion. His name began appearing in newspapers, then on screens. People praised his intelligence, his vision, his natural authority. He didn't argue. Why would he? Without a shadow, he seemed sharper, how cleaner, untouched by doubt. But the world noticed. Children stopped playing when he passed. Dogs growled low in their throats. Birds scattered from rooftops. At meetings, people listened but never relaxed. No one joked around him. No one stayed long after conversations ended. He told himself it was envy. At night, however, sleep stopped coming. He lay awake in his enormous bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling watched. The silence pressed against him like weight. Without a shadow, the world felt flat, as if depth itself had been stolen. Mirrors reflected his face, his body, his success, but something was wrong. His eyes looked hollow, like rooms that had been emptied. One night, he tried standing under a bright lamp, hoping ridiculously that the shadow would return. It didn't. Instead, he felt something cold brush past his feet. The dream started after that. He dreamed of walking through crowded streets while shadows moved freely, laughing, whispering, pointing. His own shadow was among them, but it didn't look back. He woke up sweating, his heart pounding, his hands shaking like a guilty man's. The following weeks were worse. Every lie he told came easily, too easily. Every cruel decision felt justified. When workers lost their jobs, he shrugged. When families suffered because of his choices, he slept through it. He noticed something terrifying. He no longer felt bad. That was when he understood. The shadow wasn't just darkness. It was weight, memory, guilt. It was conscience. One evening, as the sun bled into the sky, he saw the stranger again standing in the same place beneath the same dying streetlight. "I want my shadow back," the man said, his voice cracking. The stranger smiled calmly, as if he'd been waiting. "You sold more than a shadow," he replied. "You sold the part of you that feels—" "I'll give everything back," the man begged. "The money, the house, the fame." The stranger shook his head. "Some deals can't be undone." The man fell to his knees. "I'm empty," he whispered. "I don't recognize myself." The stranger leaned closer. "Look down." The man did. For the first time in years, something stretched behind him. A shadow, but it moved before he did. It stood taller, thicker. Its edges crawled like smoke. "That," the stranger said softly, "is what you became." The shadow lifted its head and smiled. The next morning, the man was found alone in his mansion, alive, breathing. But when people spoke to him, he didn't answer. When they touched him, he didn't react. His eyes were opened but empty. On the wall behind him stretched a shadow that moved on its own. Sometimes, late at night, neighbors swear they see it walking through the streets, looking for someone else who wants more. Like and subscribe for more. See you next time.